Hello and welcome to the Health Bites section on weaning from the bottle. Weaning is an important stage in the development of your child, and in this section you'll learn all about it. Are you ready?
Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing? Great to hear it. My name is Mel Grafton, and I would like to welcome you to Cafe au Lait and our open mic night competition. The theme of tonight's show is weaning from the bottle. We've got 3 great performers lined up tonight, and their acts will leave you hungry for more. After each performance, we'll have a chance to learn a little bit about each performer. So now, it's time to transition to our first act. Remember, your applause picks the winner, and the winner will receive this sippy cup. Are you ready to get started? Okay, our first performer this evening is a singer-songwriter from Abilene, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, Ralph Collins.
What is the meaning of weaning? Weaning sure does sound like fun. It's a time of transition, but you don't need a magician. From bottle to cup around age 1. But that's not all. There's so much more. Should I keep going? Oh, okay, verse 2 then. What is the meaning of weaning? Listen closely to what I will say. Weaning takes time, she won't just stop on a dime. You'll need much more than a day. Because you see, the whole process of weaning from a bottle to a cup can take a few months, not just a day or 2. It's a time of transition and can start between 7 and 8 months and last until your baby's fully weaned, at around 15 months.
What a great song, Ralph. Thanks for sharing it with us. So how did the weaning go with your daughter?
It went good, you know. My wife and I did things right and thought about what to do about weaning before we had to do it, so we were prepared. We started by letting Chloe practice with a cup at around 9 months.
Is that what most healthcare professionals recommend?
Exactly. They recommend that babies practice using a cup sometime between 7 months and 1 year. And my wife and I found that it was really helpful getting Chloe ready for less and less bottle. We helped her bring the cup to her mouth, but had to take it away if she started treating it like a toy.
What was in the cup at first? And what kind of cup are we talking about?
A little bit of formula at first. Or water, less than 4 ounces if that's what the parents want to do. And it was a cup with 2 handles.
That's outstanding. Well, I really enjoyed your song, Ralph, and we'll find out later if the audience did too. We wish you the best of luck.
Thanks a lot.
Our next act is a poet from Frio, Minnesota. Ladies and gentlemen, the poetic stylings of Jen Mitchell.
This poem is about when to begin the process of weaning. When to wean? When should we begin? When solids are introduced? Yes, then it should begin, but very slowly, gradually, over time. It begins with practice holding a cup, beginning at 6 months of age, but sometimes older. But what's in the cup? Formula or breast milk? Until the month's number 12, 1 year, then cow's milk at 1 year, cow's milk, but very slowly, gradually, over time.
Very powerful, Jen. Tell us a little more about it, would you?
Sure. As Ralph said, the process of weaning actually begins shortly after the baby starts solid foods, which is when he or she begins practicing with a cup. And as the baby gets older and approaches a year, he'll have more solid foods enter his diet and less formula or breast milk. Over time, most of his nutrition will come from solid foods.
Formula or breast milk is still very important, though.
Absolutely, but it's kind of like a tightrope.
A tightrope?
Yes, a tightrope. You've got to keep your balance. As you introduce more solid foods, you'll feed less formula or breast milk. Slowly, gradually, over time.
That's a great way to think about it. And when the child reaches a year,
then you start to replace formula or breast milk with cow's milk. Cow's milk should only go in a cup so that the child learns that cow's milk is in a cup and formula or breast milk is going to be in a bottle. That way, the child is being weaned from both the bottle and from formula or breast milk. And I recently learned that for mothers who receive WIC benefits, the formula benefits stop when your child turns a year old. It's important to know.
I see, sure. Well, thanks for being here, Jen.
Actually, do you mind if I recited one more?
That's up to our audience. The audience has spoken. Go for it. Once again, Jen Mitchell.
Cow's milk in a cup. How do you introduce it? Hey mama, what's up? Just like other new foods, you gotta remember, introduce it by itself slowly. You don't have to start in December. Why's that, you ask? Cow's milk all alone? The same reason you introduce other foods by themselves. You want to avoid the allergy zone. Take 3 days to watch out, to test and observe. Call the healthcare professional if the milk throws your little one a curve.
Very nice. Tell us a little about it.
Well, Mel, I wrote that when I was introducing cow's milk to my son for the first time. We did it the same way we introduced other foods to him. We gave him 1 or 2 ounces of cow's milk by itself, then waited a few days to make sure there were no allergic reactions or any concerns or anything like that.
Were there?
Thankfully, no, but I definitely would have called my healthcare professional had I thought there was a problem.
Which you should do. If you have any questions about the right time to wean or how to do it, or if you have any concerns.
Exactly.
Okay, so back to introducing cow's milk. Talk a little bit about that process.
Well, we waited 3 days and there didn't seem to be an issue. So I started giving him a half cup. That's 4 ounces, you know, of cow's milk each day. Each 4-ounce cup of cow's milk replaced a bottle of breast milk. Then, after a few days, I gave 2 half cups of cow's milk in a sippy cup and replaced 2 bottles of expressed breast milk, and so on up to 3 or 4 sippy cups of cow's milk each day.
Wow, what a great strategy. And when did you get to 4?
It took about 2 weeks to completely replace all the bottles. I started giving a little juice too once he hit a year old. No more than 4 ounces of juice per day and some water too. He got quite the variety at meal and snack time.
Thank you for sharing your beautiful poetry with us. Poet Jen Mitchell, everyone. All right, we have got our final performer set to take the stage. It's the first time an artist of the pencil and paint variety has ever been to one of our open mic night events, but there's a catch. She also happens to be a weaning expert and has agreed to answer a series of questions, all while painting or drawing or doing whatever it is she's going to do, all to add to the fun. So everyone, help me welcome Renee Middleton from Middleton, Rhode Island. Good evening, Renee. Welcome.
Hi.
Having an artist with an easel on stage is certainly a first for us.
I'm really glad I can be here. I've really enjoyed the music and poetry so far.
Yes, they've been great. So how did you get into the weaning field?
Well, I was weaned from the bottle myself a long time ago.
I hope so.
And I had children and weaned them, and my friends had children and I helped wean them. It's something I really enjoy.
So you're an expert.
Some would say that, yes.
And an artist.
Some would say that too.
Okay, well, I've got my list of questions right here on my card. And you're going to talk to us all while doing what you're going to do. So what will you be creating for us?
I'm going to create a one-of-a-kind portrait of somebody here tonight.
That sounds great. You got any ideas on who?
If it's okay with you, Mel, I figured you'd be perfect. You sit here on this stool, ask your questions, and I'll sit on this one, answer your questions, and sketch.
Is everyone okay with that? All right, I'll sit right here. Okay, first question, Renee. Should you give your child juice before they reach a year old?
That's simple. The answer is no. No juice until the child's at least a year old.
Okay, next question. You just heard Jen talk about replacing bottles of formula or breast milk with 4-ounce cups of cow's milk gradually over 1 or 2 weeks. So when you reach 1 bottle of formula or breast milk per day, what could you put in the bottle?
That's another easy one. Experts say you could put water in the bottle when you get down to 1 per day. The next step is getting rid of the bottle altogether.
Another right answer. Renee, great work.
Thank you.
Here's your next question. By what age should a child be weaned off the bottle? Did we stump you?
Oh, no, I'm just examining my handiwork here. The answer to your question is approximately 12 months.
And you're 3 for 3 so far.
I should add, though, that the earlier you introduce a cup in the 7 to 12 month time frame, the better. The longer a child relies on a bottle, the harder it is to pry him away. Also, adding cow's milk to a cup around 12 months really helps speed things along.
But certainly, I imagine children would be children. And I imagine there are instances where tantrums would cause you to give a bottle to a child, even if the child had only been weaned off the bottle for a couple of days.
Does this count as one of my questions?
No, I'm just curious.
In that case, it's important that parents don't give in and give a bottle. Otherwise, you may have to start the whole weaning process over again completely. And all your hard work, gone. Poof.
That would not be good. Okay, Renee, here's your next question, for real this time. Should you lay your baby down with a cup or bottle?
Never, never, never. Your child could choke, and that would not be good.
Another correct answer. So are we almost done over there?
I'm just putting on the last finishing touches. Now.
We ready for the big reveal? Does it look like me?
We'll see what you think. What do you think? Pretty accurate, right?
I thought you were drawing me.
I went for the more abstract.
So tell me more about this. Renee, why did you draw me as a child missing teeth?
Well, because one of the risks of being on a bottle too long is something called dental caries.
That doesn't sound good.
It's not, and it doesn't feel good either. It's basically tooth decay, where the child's upper teeth turn brown and begin to decay away. It happens when children are given bottles with juice, milk, or sweetened drinks before bedtime or nap time, or if they suck on a sippy cup throughout the day.
So how does it happen?
It happens when bacteria in the mouth feeds on the sugars left over by the drinks. The bacteria produces an acid that actually destroys the enamel of the teeth. So even if you need to, settle her down, it's best not to use a bottle to do that.
That sounds terrible. So tell me, are there other dangers related to having your child use a bottle for too long?
Yes. For one, it can lead to obesity as an adult. Because let's say your toddler is eating food at meals now and is still getting bottles of breast milk or formula. At one time, that formula was enough for the child's entire meal. So when you add table foods on top of that, it's a lot of food, too much. And that can lead to poor eating habits, which can lead to overweight children, which can lead to obesity as an adult.
I see.
So weaning helps with better eating habits.
I'm right with you, Renee.
So is this going on your wall at home?
Gonna have to check with my husband about that. Thank you for sharing your talents with us this evening.
It's great to be here.
We have had 3 solid acts, and now it's time to vote. I'll recap each act, and you'll vote based on your applause. First up, we had Ralph Collins, who sang, "What is the meaning of weaning?" Next up, we had the poetry of Jen Mitchell. Finally, we had an unconventional performance from Renee Middleton. Well, it sounds like we have a winner. But before I announce that, I want to remind you that should you have any questions before, during, or after the weaning process, you should talk to your healthcare professional. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Tonight's winner is Renee Middleton. Congratulations, Renee.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to thank all the little people who helped me get here tonight.
And by little people, do you mean all the children you helped to wean off the bottle?
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us this evening. We'll see you in 1 week for our next show. The topic will be fruits and vegetables. Ralph, Jen, Renee, thanks for your performances. We'll see you next week.
I hope all your questions about weaning were answered in this section. Now it's time for your own transition to the other games, videos, and activities in this section. Enjoy!